It may turn out that the University of Oregon bought itself a Final Four. It may prove true that the Ducks were no better than some of the other success-hungry programs in America that lose their way following sneaker money. But before we go all the way there, let's get some actual proof on the record. On Tuesday, a defense lawyer for a man accused of arranging a $100,000 payday to a Louisville basketball recruit lifted the lid on the possibilities. Oregon, a Nike school, offered Brian Bowen an astronomical amount of money if he'd go to Oregon, Gatto's defense attorney, Casey Donnelly, said on Tuesday in court. There are a few plausible reasons, but don't let me speak for the attorneys. Instead, I turned to several experienced litigators who told me they weren't the least bit surprised that Donnelly introduced the Ducks on day one. What the litigators told me is that a defense attorney making an opening statement can pretty much say whatever the heck they'd like to say in an opening statement. They're supposed to outline the evidence and begin to build the case, but ultimately throwing out a shocking statement that draws Nike into the fray isn't the worst strategy. Every defense attorney has to make a call prior to the trial. Gatto's is no different. You can either win the case based on the merits of the case, i.e., evidence, the law, etc., or you have to appeal to the jury and build the case around trying to make the government look foolish for wasting everyone's time. It's pretty clear what Donnelly is doing here, at least in theory. Gatto got caught arranging the payment. The defense isn't denying it. Rather, it's trying to make the case that inducing a recruit isn't an isolated violation of federal law. Rather, an NCAA violation and a problem more suitable for Congress to solve. Basically, lay at ease and gentlemen of the jury. Why are we even here? The government is wasting your time and taxpayer dollars with an issue that is widespread and much bigger than this hearing. Is the United States government picking on Gatto? That's what's really at issue here. Adidas won't go down without trying to take Nike with it. And if we took a vote in the next coffee shop you walk into, I'm betting we'd mostly agree that there's a fair bit of corruption in major college athletics. Are the sneaker companies paying for talent? Not the right question. Are they lucratively funding AAU programs? Yes. Are they lucratively funding development camps and academies? Absolutely. Have they made the business of influencing basketball talent a lucrative one? Yep, guilty as charged. All of them. Remember, Gatto isn't denying he made the $100,000 payment. That's not his defense. One thing Adidas is guilty of here is being less evolved than any of us could imagine in trying to get a player to Louisville. It's why so many major college coaches are shaking their heads at the absurdity of this trial. They're also waiting eagerly to see what the government wiretaps of the defendants reveal. The Ducks may be in some trouble here. If so, Dana Altman could lose his job, or it may be that the defense couldn't resist dragging Phil Knight's college basketball mistress into the discussion to muddy up the waters. I mean, there are 70-plus witnesses listed and not one from UO. Those extensive wiretaps may prove to be the link everyone is waiting for. Or maybe Adidas simply shaking the trees on Tuesday will make it rain recruiting violation fruit. Maybe we're about to find out how dirty college hoops really is. Altman needs to go public with a statement. If he's never paid for a player, he needs to say, I don't pay for players, for fans, for boosters, for himself, also, for the November signing day. One successful Power 5 conference head coach told me on Tuesday that he had recently heard that Oregon's name would come up in the trial. He hadn't heard that the Ducks had upped the ante for Bowen to $100,000. But the coach said, it's just that it was common knowledge if you were involved with Bowen family at all, the payment would be very high. The clean coaches in college basketball want the system cleaned out. Thing is, I'm not sure how many of them there are. Also, I'm convinced that the system is growing up dirty because of the influence that Nike, Adidas and others have on the youth game. By the time the colleges are recruiting the athletes, the players are well aware of the money involved and how the game works.